one regret that really bothers me, especially today, where I am in my life, is not having a child. I see all my friends with their grandbaby.
Half of women 30 and younger don't have a child. Now, we also know that couples, 1 in 3 couples at 30 already have trouble conceiving.
Life is not having children. A lot of my life saying that I didn't think I really wanted kids, but turns out I did.
All throughout college and all throughout high school, I was just telling people I'm going to be a wife and a mother.
Are you upset or do you feel some type of way at the fact that you're 34 years old and you do not have any children?
Me the other day if I had any regrets in my life, and I thought really hard about it, and the one regret that really bothers me, especially today where I am in my life, is not having a child. I'm gonna be honest, I was selfish. I did not want to give up my freedom. I enjoyed my life when I was younger. I got into motorcycles. I was fairly young. I like to be able to hop on that motorcycle and pack a few things of clothes and hop on it and go and be gone till Sunday. Wherever the road took me is where I went. And you can't do that when you have children. You got to be home taking care of business. So I was selfish. You know, I've managed to travel. I'm well traveled. I mean, I've been to Europe 3 times and plenty of the Caribbean countries and all over the United States. And but that's my one regret. I see all my friends now with their grandbabies and even some cases great-grandbabies. And that is the one thing that I regret not doing, is having a child. I have somebody in my life who's like a daughter to me. It's my niece. She's the only child of my brother, and she's 44 years old. I was 19 when she was born, and she's always been my baby, and she will always be my baby. And I'll tell you that right now. That's my baby. And I still spoil her today. She lives with me. So, you know, that's
taking advantage of you.
But you girls out there that are saying, I don't want any kids, you really need to sit down and look at the long-term picture. Where are you going to be when you're my age? I'm in my 60s. So, and think about it, because I see all my friends with their grandbabies and great-grandbabies in some cases, and I'm jealous. But I made my bed, so I got to lay in it. So you girls, you really think about it, because this is a big decision, especially that's going to affect you when you get older.
Not listening. Not listening.
All right. God bless America. God bless the American people. And y'all have a great day.
Yes. God bless you for telling that story. I'm happy you did, because a lot of ladies need to hear this. She wanted freedom. Now she 65, 70, 85 years old? No kids, nothing to show for herself. She's taking care of a 44-year-old niece who, you guys heard me, that's taking advantage of her, actually. She's the same age as me, your niece. Like, what is she doing? But still, this is what they had to look forward to. Nothing glamorous about it. You feel it when you hit this age. You go, man, I should have attempted. I should have tried. At least if she would have tried, she'd be like, I tried, but wasn't successful. That's something different. You can live with yourself. Seriously. Say if she was like 40 years old, tried, couldn't, she said, I tried, just wasn't in my cards. Right? I wasn't dealt the right hand.
Half of women 30 and younger don't have a child. Now, we also know that couples, 1 in 3 couples at 30 already have trouble conceiving. Fertility goes off a cliff at 35. So 30, you're pushing your luck at 30. At 35, you are seriously pushing your luck. Half of women at 30 have no child. Half of those women will not have a child. 95% of them will regret that. That's 1 woman in 4. There's lots of women, many, maybe it's the majority. At 19, if you ask the typical Western woman if she wants to have children, she's very likely to say no. She's going to
Yes.
pursue her career. Well, that's very unwise. First of all, what the hell do you mean career? Most people don't have careers. They have jobs. And a job is something that someone pays you to do because
You know, I saw a lady, I showed her my last video. She was bawling her eyes out, but she did it right. She got her husband, had babies with a man she knew because he was her husband, wasn't going to pass her anything, right? Then after, she tackled her career. But then she hated being outside because she's a good mom. Ain't that something? That's the way that most ladies are supposed to go. My mother took the same route. My mother was forced to take the same route because she had me out of wedlock. But that's the route she ended up taking. She knew for sure when she had me. She said, I got to lock down a man. But that's the way you should go.
you wouldn't do it if they weren't paying you. Okay, so that's like 80% of careers are jobs. Of the people that have careers, a small minority have successful careers, and an even smaller minority have careers so successful that it's better for them to have the career than to have a husband or wife or children. And that's almost no one. And it's certainly almost no women. So, and you might say, well, that's sexist. It's like, you just don't know what you're talking about. I worked for 10 years with a strata of the highest achieving women. I had, as part of my clinical practice, a offering that we made to consulting firms and law firms. And the offer was, send us your best people and we'll work for them. But the consequence of that is that they'll be even more productive. So in the typical law firm, for example, there's people who don't do well. Then there's people who are good lawyers. Then there are people who are good lawyers that bring in business. There's like none of them. They're super valuable. And if a law firm has someone like that, they want to keep them. And they're often women, half the time, let's say. Those were the women I was working with. And they were generally extremely attractive, extremely intelligent, very hardworking, and very focused on career development. And they'd done very well in junior high school and high school. Then they,
High achievers.
aced college and their LSATs. And then when they were articling, the firms snapped them up quickly. And then they rocketed up towards partnership. And then they were 30 and they all thought, what the hell am I doing working 70 hours a week with a bunch of insanely competitive men? Right? And that is the question. It's like, what are you doing exactly? And then even if you're radically successful, let's say in your law school career, if you get run over by a bus on the way to work, the waters just close over you at the firm.
Yep.
The firm continues on. It's not like anyone cares. Not really. I'm not saying that people shouldn't pursue a career. But I would say even in my case, and I'm male, so that makes a big difference, because men are also oriented towards status, competition, victory in a way that women just aren't, not, at least not in the career domain. And the reason for that's very straightforward. And the thing that makes men by default most attractive to women is their comparative success in the hierarchy of men. It's a walloping predictor, and it's irrelevant to men. Like, men don't care at all whether women are successful in their career. It's not a determinant of their attractiveness. In fact, it's often the contrary. Well, these women that I'm talking about, they were often alone. Why? Well, they're beautiful, so that like intimidated 90% of men right there. They're smart, so that's another 90% of the remaining 10%. They're accomplished and wealthy. Well, like, first of all, who's going to approach them? And second, who are they going to accept? Because women are hypergamous, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's not what the first lady struggled with, but that's what most modern women struggle with. Because sometimes it happens. They won't be as high as those ladies he dealt with, but they get close to around 80,000, some even 100, 125,000. And then they look around and go, who am I to date? Yes. Then they want the guy that's 6 feet, 6 figures, can't date him. Then they date the wrong guys. They date the criminal, the fixer-upper guy who most women are trying to date. They're smashing everyone, using their car, running up all the bills. Nightmare. Then they want to, after all of that, look at the good guy. Seriously, It all comes back to you, my man. That's why men have said, no mas.
In life is not having children. I spent a lot of my life saying that I didn't think I really wanted kids, but turns out I did. And I think I would have been a good mum, to be honest. Having said that, I am turning 40 this year, and in order for me...
She's turning 40? Woo! I saw those cakes on the table. Lady, put up the cakes and hit the gym. I say to any man or woman out there, don't look like this when you get older. If you look like that now, work on it. You can change yourself.
For me to move forward and focus on enjoying life after I turn 40, I have to accept it, and that's something I am working on. It's one of those things that is so huge to have not done in your life, and yet you can't change it. So I have to accept it, and I have to find ways to just enjoy life and not spend too much time focusing on the fact that that is not part of my life. Now, of course, I could just get as many cats as possible, and that is something I will work on, because that is something I can control. But what I am going to do is just focus on what my life is and enjoying it as much as I can with as fewer regrets as possible.
Get a cat, get a dog, die alone.
For myself is to be child free, and I don't care what anybody says, or if they're gonna come at me in the comments saying I'm selfish and I only care about myself, because people have kids for very selfish reasons. People will have kids to take care of them when they're older, to prove to their parents that they could be a better parent. I literally throw up thinking about that. Literally, my own mother told me, when I told her the shit she did to me growing up, she was like, just have your own kids and do a better job. Excuse me? Just like so disgusting. And second of all,
This is
I
where it
need
starts.
validation from a child. That I'm a good person, that I have worth, that I have purpose, because I can find all that within myself. When you look for that from a child, you will inevitably traumatize them, put them into a role they did not ask to be in, and essentially you're making a choice on behalf of someone else that didn't get a say in it, because you wanted to have joy and bring life into the world because it is so beautiful. What about all the other lives that already exist, the billions of them? But it has to come from you though, right? It has to be your own, because you're fulfilling a reason within yourself. Anyways, on top of that, I spent a huge chunk, all my childhood, being a therapist for my mom, for people around me, constantly, literally abandoning myself because I had to make other people happy. And I'm like, dude, I am not putting off my life anymore. Like, I am not going to be living for someone else. I'm going to be living for myself, and I'm going to be living for the people that are already here and existing in the world that I love, that are my soul family. Like, those are the people that matter to me. I don't need to bring another person in here to be like, I don't have friends, so let me, because they'll love me unconditionally. No. Literally, one of the best decisions I could ever make. Literally one of the best decisions I could ever make. I am so happy with my decision every single day. When I have disposable income, I could do whatever the I want. And I could just be free and explore life. And if I want to hang around kids, I will literally go hang around my friends that have kids, or my family members that have kids. I'm like, yeah, bro, like, let me take your kid for like a couple hours and let me give it back to you. But it's such a beautiful life. It's so awesome. And for anybody that tells you like, you're gonna regret it, it's like, I'm not regretting it right now. I'm not gonna regret it later, because I'm not gonna make someone else my guarantee as to why I need someone like to take care of me when I'm older. I'm gonna figure all that on my own and not put that onto a brand new person that I decided to bring here because I wanted to.
I saw a video today where a woman said a lot of people wake up in their 30s and realize that the life they want is not the life they have. You did all this building just to get to the top and realize you want to tear it all down. And let me tell you how I avoided that. I peeped game at like 14. This is like high school time, and people start talking to you about career options, and I was like, oh, y'all want me to do what y'all do? No. I did a whole audit. I asked 100 people at my high school, what do your parents do for a living? None of it sounded appealing. For a while, I was like, I'll be a doctor. That's respectable, getting money, you know what I'm saying? A lot of school, but you getting money though. I even did a rotation with a gynecologist when I was 16. Now, seeing babies be born, amazing, but I fell asleep during a hysterectomy and I said, this is not for me. So I started telling people I wanted to marry rich and be a wife and a mother, because that's the only thing that sounded appealing at the time. time. I was like, I will work. Just find me something that works for me. All throughout college and all throughout high school, I was just telling people I'm going to be a wife and a mother. Obviously, I'm very smart, but I was like, hey, I have not found a career that works for me, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going through the motions until I get there. I ended up finding entrepreneurship, and that was the thing for me. Because I wasn't really obsessed with the money. I was obsessed with the freedom. Like, I was irritated that my dad was irritated that I was asking him for lunch money. You ain't got $5? I just never wanted to deal with that, and I didn't want my kids being money conscious. And I wanted to put my life and my time in my own hands, and being an entrepreneur allows me to do that. With the type of jobs I work, there was no financial incentive. It's like no matter how much work you put in, the pay is going to be the exact same. What I do now is the exact opposite. What you put in is what you get out, and I like that quite a bit. So I think the most important thing is to have a realistic vision of what you want your life to look like, and then number two, be relentless about it. I was at my first 3 jobs like, yeah, I'm just doing this until the next thing works out. Like, literally, I'm not going to be here forever. I'm not. Toodaloo. Somebody's got to make it happen around here. It's just going to be me.
That wife and a mom. Man, if ladies, what they have, because they're watching, some agree. The ones that don't, ooh, what pill have you bitten? Like, seriously. Please, it's not healthy. Don't you know that pills are from pharmacia? I talked about it yesterday. I had a discussion about it yesterday. Right? Like, so if you're on something, figure out what you can do, take that's naturally to help you out with that. Right? Like, say if you got diabetes, there's certain pills you can take that will help out, that are natural, that are from the man upstairs. But yeah, she wanted to go the route of the man upstairs. And what happens when you do that? You can be an entrepreneur. Like, for instance, my wife. She's a wife, right? She knows how to edit videos. I'm going to have it set to where, well, right now she gets 10% of my business, right? Because she earns it. She edits all of my videos for all of my channels. Entrepreneur, right? Also, she's going to be having other people working under her, which she does now, but we're going to expand that, right? Because I'm going to pay her to Upwork. Entrepreneur. She'll mess around next year and make more money than me. You see that? Not from going outside and being outside, from staying home. And that's what more ladies need to think about, or at least need to attempt or try, because really staying home, this is the way.
Great question the other day. It said, Kendra, are you upset or do you feel some type of way at the fact that you're 34 years old and you do not have any children and you do not have a husband? And I thought it was such a great question because I decided that I was going to wait on God. And in that decision, I absolved myself of the responsibility of the outcome. I completely rid myself of the how, of the where, of the why, of the timing of any of that, because I decide I'm gonna wait. And that's a weekly decision, a daily decision, an hourly decision, right? Because in our genetic makeup as a human, of course, we're like, what, 34 years old? I thought I want to be married. I thought I would have a child. You want it right away, and you may even try to go obtain it with your own strength and your own understanding. And that's where some of us get tripped up at. God made me a promise. You will be a wife. You will have 2 children. Turn unto him boy. Luke 1:37, for there's no word from the Lord that will ever fail. And so I don't want to be down here worrying about when, how, who. I don't want to do that. Our responsibility is not how to make this thing happen. My responsibility is making sure that I have enough time in my schedule for a husband, making sure I know how to cook all the basic meals, making sure that I've rid myself of trauma, making sure that I know how to shut my mouth and submit. That is my responsibility.
Yeah, that's kind of good. It is, because she's preparing. And she does need that, because that's what a man's looking for. But also, as she said, working on her attitude, that's good. That's what you need to do. But also, you probably got to get out there and start talking. I'm sorry. I know you feel it's not feminine. You feel, why do that? Why subject myself to being belittled? It's not belittled. You'll be humbled. And you notice one thing? What happens to men all the time? They're humbled. I think It's only right. I'm not trying to say you have to be manly. I see ladies approach guys in a feminine way all the time. Find out what that is and then run with that. Because most likely, and I'm not saying it won't happen, but a lot of times, especially if you're in America, that man's not coming.
Bucket list.
Catch 5 bodies.
Catch 5 bodies?
5.
What about you?
To remember a night.
Remember a night?
Does that make sense?
Yes. Because you're going to be drinking so much?
So much, yes. Thank you.
How many days do you have to catch 5?
I've already reached it.
Does your bucket list reset every day, or how does that work?
Wait, so did you have 5 in a day?
Yeah. So I guess I'm here for 7 days, 5 times 7.
I can't tell if she's bad at math or just waiting for me to answer.
I can't. It's 35.
5 times 7 is 35.
35 in 7 days is your goal.
Yes.
I don't think she's going to catch that, but yes, that's the mindset. Do that when they're younger, get older, and a lot of them do the same thing. Don't want to change.
As someone that used to be the queen, the PhD holder of people telling me, men telling me, I just look intimidating. They just didn't think they had a shot with me. Just thinking that if he looked like you, he would not be dating somebody like him. But, however, if you're willing to lower to disapprove, come on in. You need to start thinking the same way. Let people admire you. Let people look at you and think, wow, she takes such good care of herself. She carries herself so well. Let them admire. If they do not approach, do not make scenarios in your head as to why they didn't approach. It doesn't have any bearings on you. It doesn't make you less worried. It doesn't make you less attractive. Just move on. Let people see you and move on.
Gotta talk. I said it with the other lady. I'm saying it with her as well. Guys are staring at you. That means you put in some work for the day. They think you look good. Go over and approach. Because I know you're thirsty. And sometimes you get a little bit lonely. Oh. That's what they're singing now. R. Kelly. That's R. Kelly, right? Oh. I'm saying a little bit off, but you guys get the point. That's how they're feeling.
Such thing as winning a man. Like, if that man had you in competition with somebody else, you've already lost. Everybody involved has already lost. But can you imagine, like, being the one who stayed? The prize that you win is a lot. I remember I was dating this guy, found out he was dating other people, and I had to journal about it. And when I was journaling, I ended up writing this. It must have hit your head on some concrete, thinking I would have compete. Should have known I would leave you in a heartbeat, especially over probably off beat. Never ever been the one to stay in subtweet. Post a bunch of cryptic posts about dusty. Me against these hoes with only in an us sweep. That's just facts. You can't even call it conceit. Don't do jealousy. It would make me wonder, sound like hell to me. If I get woman to woman via melanie, that would probably end in a felony. Go ahead and lock the cell on me. That's just fantasy. For my piece. Don't forget that I'm the goal, baby. High key. Play with them, not me. I'll go eat and Tommy. Lose if I never let him choose. No. If he's second guessing, better choose that new hoe. I don't play the main, I don't play the side. No back and forth, ain't no eye for eye. Just watch me move on to another guy, to a better guy.
But yeah, so nice music. Nice little rap you just did there. But it's the same thing. You dedicated a piece of music to a pokey. Probably a guy who doesn't mind talking to women nowadays. Guys have stopped that, right? A guy that gets out of jail, has every woman at his beck and call. You guys see it, right? Those guys that get out of jail has more women trying to talk to him. And then you see someone like her will say, what's wrong with you other guys? Guys don't want them ladies. And guys don't want you.
I've made terrible dating decisions so that you don't have to. So get comfy whilst I tell you how I was in a relationship, or should I say mommy with the stingiest man on planet Earth. This is a juicy one. When I was 19, I thought I was a lover girl. I thought, oh, I'm just so generous. No, I was an idiot whose self-esteem was in a homeless man's bum somewhere in hell. So I'm that girlfriend that's always over-giving. Oh, don't worry about me. I'll pay for this, I'll pay for that. Oh, I'll get this, I'll get that. Oh, I'm out at the moment. Do you want something? Oh, I've just seen something you really like. I'm gonna get it for you. Give, 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 give. That's all I was doing, just giving myself away. So I'm in a relationship with this guy now and I'm giving, giving, giving. You know, don't want him to think I'm using him. Don't want to come across like a gold digger. You know, I had to prove I'm not using him for his overdraft. So I was a student and I didn't work during my 3rd year of uni. I got a weekly allowance from my dad for like groceries, you know, just to keep me alive. So this working man who's on his 2nd job after graduating will come to my uni flat and eat all the groceries in my fridge. I'll just walk to the kitchen and find him there like this. As in back arched, hand on hip, like you're 9 months pregnant. Just gulping my apple and mango juice. That's my favorite. The thing is, like, I don't actually care about that. Like, have what you want, but it's the fact that I was never offered anything. Like, he would never replace the groceries he ate, the drinks he's downing. As a matter of fact, when things run out, he would actually come with me to Aldi, stand with me at the till and watch me pay, and then come back to my flat like this. Remember I told you sometimes I might just get random gifts, you know, see something you might need, buy it and give it to him? No. If it's not my birthday or it's not Christmas, I would never see or smell a gift. Even something like Valentine's Day or Christmas, he'll wait to see if I'm getting a gift first. Then that's the only time that he'll get me one. And his reason will be, well, I can't let you get me a present and not give one back. Not, oh, because I love you. Not, oh, because I thought you'd love this. Not, oh, let's celebrate together. No, you got me one, so I have to give one back. And when I say gift, I use that term lightly. These weren't gifts. I was just saying in passing one time that I wanted this phone case. Phone case. And he decided to wait a whole year until my birthday to surprise me with said phone case. My birthday gift was a phone case. So one time when I've got no groceries left because they've been inhaled by this whale, so I was like, there's nothing to eat and there's nothing to cook. And he said, and I quote,
I'm not sure what you're going to do about that then.
What? So now this is where I got annoyed and I was like, you should offer to buy me food. Like, do I have to spell it out? And he said, and I quote,
how is it fair that you're hungry and it falls on me?
Hang on guys, can we remember something really quickly? So when I now started speaking up and complaining about things, things were being done, but being done by force. So before we would never go on dates, right? This is something I had to complain about. Disclaimer, anything this guy did or ever bought, anything of the sort, was always after many fights, many complaints, many arguments. He genuinely never did anything of his own accord. So once I've jousted him for simple date nights, his idea of effort was to only book dates that were available on Groupon. Now, for any Americans or any international people watching this, I don't know what Groupon is. It's a food discount app, okay? 2-for-1 deals, 2 for £25, 2 for £19, and mainly at random pubs and random restaurants like Pizza Express. Like, they're not nice, period. They're not nice, okay? Any place I suggested say that I want to go, he will check first if it's on Groupon. And if it's not on Groupon, we're not going. Now, 2 for £25 means 2 of us are going hungry. But when he was with his mates, he'll be going to Nobu and Novikov. But when it's me, is it on Groupon? You'll be pleased to know I eventually put my foot down and guess what? I just said I'm leaving. I'm leaving because you don't want to do anything for me, okay? It's obvious. I have to tell you to do any and every little thing for me. I don't want that.
Please! No! I know what to do! I can change! I swear!
I'm not even joking, that's how he would actually react. Like, I would block and he would buy SIM cards just to contact me again. So I'm like, okay, you want to make an effort? Let's hear it. So we went out, we went to a restaurant and then we stayed at a hotel after. And in the morning I asked him, could you get me breakfast, please? Because he was the kind of guy that if you don't ask, he's not going to offer you anything. And I wanted to see the effort. I gave a lot, I just want to be given back now. So he was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. So then I went on my phone to look on things on Uber Eats to see what I wanted to get. And he immediately starts pretending to be asleep. So I was like, oh, I found what I want to get. Can I have your phone, please? And he was like, it's been 45 seconds. You're not in REM sleep right now. Bring me that. So yeah, he was like,
Yeah, what? Oh yeah, here you go.
So I ordered the breakfast. I'm thinking everything's cool, everything's calm, everything's fine. I'm driving back home now and he's silent the whole journey. I'm telling you right now, he was livid. He was driving like this. Was filled with rage. So I was like, is everything okay? And he was like, yeah,
no, it's fine, it's fine.
Then now when he drops me home, about half an hour later, I'm seeing 3 pages of paragraphs being annoyed that he got me breakfast. Why did you ask me to get you breakfast when you could have got it yourself? I was trying to sleep and you told me that I have to get you breakfast. Meanwhile, I paid for the hotel. Why should I pay for breakfast? And then I was just like, what is all of this about? Like, breakfast was £8 and he goes, don't gaslight me! You know what? No, that's it. At that point, I was actually done. I said, no, I can't do this. I could not be in a relationship like this. Getting 3-page paragraphs because you bought somebody £8 worth of breakfast is crazy. At that point, I'm sorry, I'm not for you.
At least, out of all of this, the last 2 ladies found a way to be reductive. But still, you're a comedian, but still, you found a way to be a man. All right? I'm happy you learned, though. You learned, you moved on. Now you know, don't get with someone like that again. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Also, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you made it this far in the video, you're a real one. Thanks for watching. Other than that, please be sure to subscribe. Peace out. See you next video.
Coming.